Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we are live at the World Trade Center in Seattle talking about Budtenders. They're the critical link between bankruptcy and billions. Today, we're here with some fascinating guests. And so we're going to jump right into our panelists here. First, we have Alec Langston. He's a budtender at Dockside Cannabis. Alec has been a cannabis enthusiast for several years and has been budtending for about 3 years now. His passion is educating people about cannabis and budtending, which has been a great outlet for that, being a budtender. His goal is to help as many people and experience this wonderful plant as possible. His favorite part of the cannabis industry is changing that perception of cannabis skeptics and watching customers benefit from the guidance that's incredibly rewarding. And he's looking forward to developing within this industry and meeting new people along the way. We also have Yeager, CEO of LemonHaze.com. LemonHaze is a cannabis tech platform with a history of presenting industry data and more recently hosting events with a focus on budtenders, which is providing innovative and relevant education, networking opportunities, and business exchanges along with nationally recognized entertainers who have a prominent voice in the normalization and growth of recreational cannabis industry. Ashley is a budtender at Green Lady Pot Shop in Olympia. She's a budtender in Olympia with a medical marijuana certificate. Rebecca Berry is a senior account manager at Wurk. Wurk is an all-in-one workforce management solution for highly regulated markets, including the cannabis industry. They've created an intuitive application to manage payroll, HR, timekeeping, and tax compliance with everything you need to streamline operations, reduce labor costs, and minimize regulatory risk. And also, remotely is Claire Kaufmann, Director of Client Services at Brightfield Group. Claire's nationally known CBD and cannabis business and marketing strategist. She currently works as the Director of Client Services at the Brightfield Group, an industry-leading CBD and cannabis market research firm. Claire has worked in the CBD and cannabis space for the past 7 years. She's worked in-house for vertically integrated cannabis companies and formerly as a Northwest Regional Director for BDS Analytics. Claire has also recently served on the OLCC, Recreational Marijuana Business Council in Oregon. Her take on the future trends of the cannabis industry and the question facing marketers and entrepreneurs are sought out by national and international media, cannabis industry leaders, and key players in the traditional marketing world. I'd like to thank everybody for being on board and being on the Talking Hedge podcast. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And about the World Trade Center, the World Trade Center Tacoma grows trade and investment by providing direct access to the largest business network in the world with 300 offices in 99 countries. The World Trade Center in Tacoma is a lone trade service center for the Pacific Northwest. They have seminars and award ceremonies, conferences that can generate contacts and contracts. Trade research can clarify opportunities, and their matchmaking can turn those opportunities into trade. One of the things that I like about the World Trade Center is it gives me peace of mind knowing that I can use international guarantees or bank guarantees as a member. And also the e-commerce export store, they've partnered with Alibaba, which is translated into 18 languages and provides an opportunity to sell your product online internationally to hard-to-reach places like Asia. What tech have you seen that's available for budtenders and their managers, and have you used any that have empowered you to make educational recommendations?
I really think Budtender is one of the best platforms for budtenders. It's not only complimentary for them to use, but when they sign up, they receive $20 tax-free. When they encourage their friends to sign up, they receive a $20 referral fee, and their friends still receive $20 for signing up. And on the Budtender platform, it provides a basic paragraph and keynotes about a specific product. And I think it's really important for brands to set themselves apart. Like I know Mammoth Labs does a really incredible extraction process that is too far scientifically above my head. But the way that they're able to put their bullet points out, it helps the budtenders understand and be able to sell the product. It helps small brands like American hash makers, that where hash is such a niche market, connect with budtenders and show them how to use hash so they can share with guests who may be trying hash for the first time. So I think Budtender is really hitting the nail on the head where they have an educational platform that is concise and clear and also compensates the budtenders for adding towards their repertoire.
Tyler, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, to expand on the top tender to point, again, we're really big fans of them, as I'm sure you're well aware. The one thing that I think the best way to build any business is building relationships with people that you talk to, whether it's at an industry event, whether it's a night out in the town, or whether you're maybe even just doing deliveries. I think it's always important to develop that human connection. And one of the benefits about Top Tender as well is through their platform, you can actually have videos that you can shoot of your brand. You get to meet the people. Maybe you can give a site tour if you'd like. You can get firsthand visuals of the products via the video or just basic traditional photography. And I think having that is a great platform because people get visuals, they get to meet the brand, and they get to learn about it from the people that created that brand themselves. So in a world now where everything is moving more digital and technology is more prevalent than ever before, and especially given the high turnover rate that retailers are facing, how busy everyone is in today's age, it's really difficult for brands like us to come in, have a sit down with retailers and their staff members and tell them more about us, tell them more about what sets our brand apart, what makes our brand different. So having platforms like Top Tender, we bring the education right to them.
What we see quite a bit in the states where vertical integration is allowed is they will cross-train their Budtenders on processing as well. So they'll get to kind of learn different aspects of the business, or they may send one of their Budtenders to a conference to learn more about social media marketing in the industry and what are some best practices for that. And then that Budtender is given the ability to take over the social, maybe one or more of the social media accounts. So we see, different operations getting creative with how they're training these Budtenders, the different opportunities that they're providing to them, especially kind of like David was saying, those Budtenders that are performing really well and they recognize that they want to retain those Budtenders. So how do you retain them? Well, providing them different educational opportunities. Maybe one of them has always wanted to go to the NCIA conference in San Jose, providing them with that opportunity to get to go to that conference. Maybe one of them has always wanted to get into processing, and so there are a couple of operations that actually do tuition reimbursement, and that person will go and take a chemistry class, and the operation will pay for, that community college chemistry class that they take. So, providing them with opportunities, and, the onus is really, just depending on the size of the organization, the onus is either on the owners, the managers, or the HR business partners or directors, in most cases for these companies, to have these conversations with these employees and say, you're doing a great job. What do we need to do to make sure that we're going to be able to keep you here? Like, what is it you want to do next? What can we provide to you? And that answer could be, you could have, 140,000 different answers for the 140,000 people that are working in the cannabis industry, well, plus, I guess now, that are working in the industry. So it really is more of an individual decision as to kind of what they're looking to do next.
I mean, that's tough. That's tough because I think a lot of it for me is like I am the calling category. I'm the person that I believe this is my calling. I believe that cannabis can change people's lives, and I believe that I can be the stepping stone for people. In terms of technology, there's sites like WikiLeaf, Cannabis Reports specifically.com has been a good resource for me, not only because they provide genetic information, but they also have links to specific scientific studies about different medical ailments and the legit scientific studies that's ground zero for a specific ailment. So I think that's been a big resource. I think also too, Dockside is a medically endorsed shop, and I just went through my MMC certification process, and the information that I got from that 20-hour course on the history of cannabis and, you know, when THC was discovered and what it did and all that it took to go through that, I think that's a really big, a really useful tool as well. And I think that if you are at a medically endorsed shop and you have the opportunity to be a consultant, you should do it just because of the information you get from that learning, from that course.
If you're part of that 33% calling group, the other group just sees, I mean, maybe some shops put up an incentive or you'll get $1 more an hour or something like that, that really people see green, you know? They don't see the passion, and that's the whole 33%, that's really in it for their calling opposed to just the culture.
So actually, do you see your managers trying to implement some incentives since being thrown to the wolves when you first started? Have you seen any improvement in terms of the tools available for you to use to make an educated recommendation?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna double up. I went through Medical Marijuana 411 as my company to be a consultant, and I've been able to download everything and refer back to it as I need to. Even in the 10-hour continuing education course, there's amazing new studies that just kind of came out in 2017 and 18 that they had in that continuing education course. So it was awesome getting to download all of that. They're not trying to hoard it or, you know, pay us for every little dime.
And with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. I want to thank all my guests for being here with the Budtender panel. That's Alec Langston. He's a Budtender at Dockside Cannabis. Brian Yeager right here, CEO of lemonhaze.com. We have Ashley Hirchert, Budtender at Green Lady Pot Shop in Olympia. On the line with us is Rebecca Berry, Senior Account Manager at Wurk. And also on the line with us is Claire Kaufmann, Director of Client Services at Brightfield Group.
Previously recorded is Tom Geiger, Communications Director of a union in Seattle, UFCW 21. Also, Kara Bradford and David Moret, co-founders at Viridian Staffing. And Zahra Kohl and Tyler Nesterenko of Budtenders Ball.
So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out.